So in a special video for you today, we're going to tell you how to spot the signs of a data breach. So first question, what is a data breach? What's a hacker? How does it all work? Let's break it down and go through it step by step. The first thing you need to understand is that when a hacker, so that's someone outside in the big wide world, is trying to get access to your systems illegally, it can take them anywhere between 60 to 100 days to deploy their payload onto your systems once they've got access. By payload, I mean that's the nasty surprise you get at the end once they've got access, and it could be something like a cryptovirus where it encrypts all of your files across all of your PCs and servers if they're not properly protected, and then they would demand a huge ransom of thousands of pounds to get your files back. That's where good backups come in, because if you've got your data backed up, you can wipe your machines, reinstall everything and restore your data, and you don't have to pay them a penny. So it's always worth checking that your backups are working by restoring files as well on a regular basis, just to make sure. So let's say that your systems were compromised. What would be the telltale signs that you should be looking out for? Well, it could be a number of things. Most of them would be fairly insignificant in a way. You'll find that maybe when you load the internet up through a browser, so whether that be Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, whichever browser you tend to use, you can find that when you load it up, it takes you to a website that you haven't asked for. You can find that there's lots of pop-ups within the actual browser when you're browsing the internet, or you can just find that the internet in general is really, really slow. Now the reason that is that the hacker will be using your internet connection as a form of communication between your computers and themselves. So if there's lots of information being sent and received to the hacker, it will slow your computers down. On the computer in general, you may find that there's been some new software installed that either A, you haven't installed yourself, or B, you haven't asked your IT company to do so. So if you do spot some new software that you're unaware of, ask the question straight away: where did this come from? Who installed this? What's it for? You might also find that your computer becomes really rather sluggish, unreliable, could be crashing quite a lot, could just take a very long time to load up, and you'll notice that there'll be a big difference, a big contrast and difference between what it was normally like and what it is now. And again, that's because the hacker will be telling your PC to run programs in the background, and it could be things like keyloggers. So that's where the hacker would install a keylogger, which is a little bit of software, onto your machine, and every time you're using the keyboard, it's recording every single key type that you put in. So if you put in your username and your password for your Office 365 account, for example, or your G Suite, depending on which you use, the hacker would then have your username and password for that account, so they could then access your emails, and if you use SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, they could access all of that information too. A good point to note here is if they do get access to your Office 365 or G Suite applications, they can then go into your email and set up auto forwarders, so that if any email was sent to you, it will automatically be deleted but also forwarded on to the hacker. And what the hacker will do, and we've seen this happen in businesses, is they will then send an email from your account to, whether that be someone in your finance or to a customer, with a fake invoice saying please pay this immediately, and it could be thousands of pounds. If anyone queries it, obviously the response will go back to the hacker and not to you, so you'd be completely unaware of it, and you can end up potentially losing thousands and thousands of pounds. So that's some of the ways to spot a data breach, but what can you do to protect yourself? Many things and various things. The best thing to do is to talk to your IT provider and to make sure that if they offer any additional security services, that you are taking full advantage of them, because that's what they're there for. So it could be simple things as an internet filtering system. So if a hacker was trying to send and receive data through a malicious known server, that the internet filtering system would block that information. So if your PC was trying to send that information through to the server, it would go through the filtering system. The filtering system would realise that it's malicious attempts going on there, malicious attacks, and it would just block that data from being sent, so that the hacker would never receive it. But also things internally you can do as well, so strengthening the security on your router, so to make sure you've got a nice robust password and that the firmware is up to date. Do you know the last time the firmware was updated on your router? It should be done or checked at least every month. There tend to be updates every 2 or 3 months to router firmware. Having good antivirus, anti-malware on your machines is an absolute must. That's a rule 101 really. but also then making sure your machines are locked down, so there's only certain accounts, users, that have access to the administrative areas, as we call it, so they can actually make changes to your machines and install software. So the general user cannot do that. That's part of the Cyber Essentials accreditation recommendations. So the standard user can't actually install any software or make any changes to your computer, and then that helps to reduce the risk. So there's lots of things you can do, but really I strongly suggest that you talk to your IT support provider, whoever that may be, and make sure that you're utilising all of their security solutions to keep yourself safe. If you have any questions, we're obviously happy to help anyone. Please just book a time through the calendar. If you're watching this on the website, it's just below. That's Louise's calendar, and we're happy to spend 10-15 minutes with you on the phone just talking through all of the different solutions that are available to keep you safe. And by all means, please drop me an email as well if you've got any questions as well. We're happy to help.